Hi, Elliot Berrien here once again for another session of Q&A with Mobility Engineering. Thanks once again for your questions, we love it. Your resident road safety expert Ali is out here to answer them. I love answering the questions. It gives me so much joy to know that we are providing some value and providing some real information to the Australian public, and hopefully raising the level of safety on our roads, because this is something which I'm truly passionate about. So once again, another question coming in from the RMS. Gina from the RMS has asked us a whole series of questions which we're covering, and here's another one. What is the law for when child restraints expire and/or should be replaced? Another great question. I was actually having a discussion on our technical inquiry hotline yesterday with someone about this, and we were training some people over in WA actually 2 days ago, and we were talking about this as well. So almost a daily question and almost a daily thing. So why not do a video on it and hopefully get some people informed. So child restraints and dates of manufacture and expiry dates and things like that. So there's been quite a few different rumours and a few different things and suggestions that have gone around the traps. And so what we thought, let's clear it all out. First and foremost, every single child restraint, when they are manufactured, they are stamped with normally a sticker, as well as something burnt or melted into the plastic, like some kind of stamp in the actual plastic, a permanent stamp, that shows the date of manufacture, the date it was actually all put together. So I'll show you that on this particular seat. This one's a little bit older, and I've got it there on purpose, so I don't want to always show you flashy new stuff. This one here is the Safe and Sound seat, and our good friends at Brightac Safe and Sound, they do support us and give us free seats so we can provide information like this to you guys. So thank you very much for that. So if you look in here, I don't know how clear you're going to be able to see it in the camera, so I'll try and bring it a little bit closer. You'll see over here, there's a little label over there, right? And that label has got a bunch of build information on it. It says it's got the make and model, it's got a serial number, and it's also got the date of manufacture. And in this case, it's 19 of the 3rd, 2012. So this product is roughly about 5.5 years old. Or actually probably almost exactly 5.5 years old. So all the manufacturers have a general recommendation of 10 years on the lifespan of the child restraint, right? So this thing has already reached about halfway through that lifespan. And when we say 10 years, it's 10 years from that date of manufacture. So some people might suggest that it might be 10 years from the date you bought it, but that's not actually the case, because it starts aging the day it was born, basically. So what can happen after 10 years? After 10 years, you can start to get deterioration of components. Is it legal to use it after 10 years? So first of all, as I said, don't use it after 10 years. That's our recommendation. It's a strong recommendation. Is it legal? Can you use it legally after 10 years? That's another question that comes up. That one is an interesting one, and I'll give you two sides to the story. One side of the story is if you go and read rule number 266 of the road rules, Australian road rules and also state road rules, rule number 266 is the road rules for child restraints. If you read those road rules, typically there will be a list of child restraint standards that you need to meet. And from memory, but don't quote me on it, you can go and check it, it's 2004 is the last standard that you can meet. So that means that by law, you can actually have a seat that's older than 10 years old. Or does it mean that? Because the law also suggests and mentions that when you are using this restraint, it must be used in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and guidelines. And the manufacturer tells you, don't use it any more than 10 years. And if you use it any more than 10 years, you could have a pretty serious safety risk. So what I tell people when they ask me is, indirectly, I believe it's probably not legal. Because the law says, listen to these guys, they know about their product. They're going to tell you when it's safe and when it's not. So Safe and Sound and Infa and Durrell and all the other manufacturers, we're not here favouring anyone, we're not biased. We work with all of them and we love all of them because they are providing safety to Australian public. So we do love these manufacturers a lot. But they know their product better than anyone else. They made it. So they know how long it's going to last. And they've all agreed that any more than 10 years, it's really not a great area to be a part of. And to be honest, once it's his 10 years, you'll probably find the wear and tear, things like springs and straps and all that kind of stuff, they'll start wearing. In fact, me looking at this seat, and if you look, this seat is kind of worn a little bit, This seat's 5 years old and it's starting to look pretty aged and it's starting to look pretty ordinary. And this seat actually hasn't been used with kids that much. It's been just used for demonstrations in this office. So imagine if this was used with my kids that were eating food and weeing in their pants or vomiting and all the little great things that our beautiful little kids do. If they were doing that in this seat for 5-6 years, I think it would look a lot more ratty and tattered than this. So I think that restraints really should not be used any more than 10 years. We don't recommend it. And I would suggest that it may not even be legal, indirectly anyway, based on the way that the laws say you need to follow their instructions, and their instructions tell you don't use it beyond 10 years. So I hope that clarifies things. Don't use restraints that are more than 10 years old. Don't even buy second-hand restraints. Don't buy them online. You never know where they've been. You don't really know how old they are. Once you get it, you might have got something that you didn't think you were going to get. You might get something that was in an accident. We hear this all the time. It happens all the time. So yeah, be safe. And once again, thank you very much for forwarding your questions to us. Thanks to Gina from the RMS for all the wonderful questions. We love the questions. We love answering them. And please forward any more questions through. Thanks very much once again and have a great day.